You're in the box with Alex and Reese on a Wednesday evening. Welcome.
Welcome to the dojo. All right, Reese, why don't you lead us off?
All right, yeah. First thing, here we go. All right, we got. First thing I want to talk about was there's been some rumors going around. If you haven't watched Jimmy Fallon, maybe in the past few weeks, I did. Ryan Reynolds was asked the question, "Are you going to purchase the Ottawa Senators?" And he kind of bounced around, didn't really quite answer that. There was no definitive answer. But he's looking for some people to go in it. He needs a guy with big pockets, as he said on Jimmy Fallon. But he seems like he's getting pretty good.
Hold on. Who the hell is Ryan Reynolds?
Who doesn't know Ryan Reynolds? Is that a serious question, or are we just kind of...
100%. I have no idea.
Okay, Ryan Reynolds is an actor. Pretty famous actor. And if you don't know who Ryan Reynolds is, then you can just go jump off a bridge. 2009 Sexiest Man. Like, come on.
Was he the guy in Drive?
Never seen Drive, no. He was in the Hitman's Bodyguard, or Deadpool, or yeah, that's kind of
okay.
Yeah.
I got Ryan Reynolds. Do you have any information on why he would even be interested in buying a hockey team?
Yeah. So he grew up in Vancouver, but he also grew up in Ottawa as a kid. And from what he was saying it was just it was going to be a hobby, and also.
Wait, is buying the hockey team is just going to be a hobby?
I think so, yeah. I don't see any other reason, and he didn't come out to say specifically why, other than he wanted to own a hockey team in his hometown.
Okay, well, if I'm a Sens fan right now, I'm going, how do we veto this shit? I want a guy who comes in to buy my team and goes, I'm buying it because it's poorly managed, and this town deserves to win some cups.
Well, here's the thing. This is my spiel on it. Is that the Senators are in between Montreal and they're in between Toronto. Two, like we said in the last show, two meccas of hockey. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got the fucking middle child in the middle of those two towns. You know, the Senators are just a joke. But say we bring in this famous guy. Okay, he buys the team, and Gary Bettman has been backing him. He thinks it's a good direction that the Senators should go in. Bettman's been embracing Ryan showing interest in it. I think it will engage the fan base as well. Like,
hell yeah, this is an awesome crossover event. You know how many chicks are in love with Ryan Reynolds?
And men too.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know something funny about Ottawa or the Sens? Guess I used to go to games with my dad on it during Thanksgiving breaks. Guess the town name where the Sens rink is located. Used to be Scotiabank. Don't know what it is now. Forget it. It's literally called Canada. Canada. It's a damn good thing we have Google Maps and not freaking TomTom. Hey, TomTom, bring me to Canada. You want to go to Canada?
Canada. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I just think it will help build the Sens brand. Maybe it will put more of the NHL on the map. You get a famous person like him to buy a team. It will definitely sell tickets, and the players playing for Ottawa are backing that decision as well.
Interesting.
this isn't Reynolds' first time buying a sports team or even owning one. He owns a soccer team.
Huh. So do we have to worry about some like antitrust or monopoly things with this purchase?
No, I don't think so. His soccer team is the Rexons Soccer Club, which I have never heard of. I'm not into soccer. Do you have any light on the Rex? It's spelled WREXAHANN Soccer Club.
No, but I absolutely love that you called it a club. The only thing you were missing was he owns a football club. That's good.
So, I think he has a vision for the team. So, that's my spiel on it. That's I think the Sens need this, and I think he wants it. So why not just give it to him? What's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna go look for another owner again. Like he's gonna back out of it, and same thing happens again. Or the Senators get moved to New Mexico. Who cares? Who knows?
Yeah, that seems like more realistic. You know, with where the NHL is going, just sending. Yeah, they're gonna put a team in Abu Dhabi. That's how idiotic. It's like having a team in Arizona. What the hell? All right. Well, yeah.
That's my spiel on it, dude. If you got anything to put onto that, go right for it.
No.
I mean, you don't seem like you. That's not a direction you would like to see an NHL team go in, but I would.
I would like to see the Senators do well, so I would prefer having not a famous guy who's famous for acting. You know, like it would be nice to get somebody who's some sort of business owner, or somebody who, like, at least from the get-go, realizes that the organization and the city, they deserve to be winning hockey games. They deserve to be a cup contender. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not familiar. This is my first time I'm hearing about this, so maybe it's good. I mean, clearly with the Sens management right now, ain't gonna happen, boys. So
it's unfortunate, because you know, I kind of like watching them. I like watching when they play. It's not bad. What else you got?
Well, here's kind of a throwback to last spring. You remember a guy named last name Toffoli? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, he was always on the power play on the Flames last year.
Yeah. So he's been on my shit list, and it seems like he doesn't want to get off of it. I watched the Flames play the other night. Just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, I think his name's Tyler Toffoli. Anyways, he's on the Flames. He sucks. And you know what? The Flames got him on the power play. They got him on the first power play unit. He's on the first or second line. I don't know what's going on there. And last year in the playoffs, he was slow, and there's no other way to put it, he fucks up plays. He just is in the way. And that pissed me off. Then I'm watching them the other night. The Flames are down by a goal. There's like a minute left, right? And so the other team, I don't know who they were playing, pulled their goalie. It's a 6-on-5, and they're in the Flames' end. Toffoli ices the puck, trying to go for the empty net. Right there, hate ya. I don't like it when players do that. They get a face-off, and the Flames win it. Right there, Toffoli, you just used your get-out-of-jail-free card. You know what he immediately does? Ices the puck trying to go for the empty net. Again. And ices it. I don't know what the Flames management sees in him, but I hate watching him play. I hate the fact that he's always on the ice. I hate the fact that for some reason they put him on the ice in these special team situations, power plays, end of games. You're down by one. That is not the place for Toffoli. On power play, in fact, in the whole freaking game, you know where you should find Toffoli? In the press box. He should be wearing a suit and tie. He should not even be in hockey gear. They should have traded his ass when his value was high at the end of last season. But, yeah. I mean, have you noticed him when you've watched the Flames play?
No, not really.
Yeah, and he's on the second line, or first line. Those guys you should be noticing.
Yeah, not really.
Well,
I pay attention more to Majipani. I like watching Markstrom play in net. Those are the kind of the two. I like watching Markstrom. I like watching him a lot because
he's a phenomenal goalie.
He is one of, I'd say he's up there in the goalies, like top 5 there. I think he's definitely a playoff goalie. And when you see him mess up or like some stupid goal goes in the net, you see him get animated, but he doesn't get too animated. If you were to see Tuukka Rask get in the net, that man would destroy a stick. He would get too animated. But you can see like he wants to do his job, and it pisses him off when things get fucked up, which I like.
He's a competitor. But I'm glad you mentioned Mangiapane because I love watching him play. I don't know what they're paying him, but it's worth it. And if I were coaching a hockey team right now, like a youth hockey team, I would be telling these kids, forget about Connor McDavid, forget about Sidney Crosby. Nobody on this team is going to be like them. You can pick a little bit of each of their games, and try to model it. But don't ever think you're going to be the next McDavid. He's a genetic freak. You guys should be watching every second of ice time Mangiapane has, because he's a grinder. I think he's only like 5'8". He's a small guy, and he's a phenomenal competitor, and he's a phenomenal hockey player. And again, a guy like him, easy Toffoli replacement.
Absolutely, yeah. Is he not? Is he not on the first line? He's not.
I haven't watched the Flames too much, so I can't speak exactly to what kind of lines they're running. Yep. He gets a lot of ice time, so he's not like on the fourth line or anything. But I cannot stand seeing Toffoli out there every other shift. It's insane. And while we're on the subject of the Flames, here's another one. Kadri. I realized I hate players like him. And what I mean by that is I hate playing with people who play like him. He went on a 2-on-1, didn't even think about passing. Forget about looking over, to pass. Odd man rush, not even thinking about it. And you know what this comes back to? He had a great year with the Avs last year, won the cup, and now he thinks he's Connor McDavid. He thinks he's an all-star. He has never been that player, and he will never be that player. In the Flames, in the offseason, made a bunch of good moves, right? Uyghur and Huberdeau for Tkachuk, that is one hell of a trade. If you're trying to win hockey games, if you're trying to sell tickets, Tkachuk's probably the guy you want. And I think that's why Florida made that trade. Everybody knows Tkachuk. People will go watch hockey games just because he'll be on the ice. He's an orb of energy. I like watching them play, but Huberdeau and Uyghur are much better players. Good value trade. Kadri, I thought, in the offseason, was a good pickup. But I watched him play on the Flames the other night. He just doesn't fit the squad. He does not fit in. He fit in great with the Avs last year. You know what I'm talking about, Reese? Like guys who are good players. They have a good season, but they go to a different team and it just isn't the right puzzle piece. You know, like I'm not saying he's like Toffoli and sucks and slows up plays and has no role, but the pieces just aren't fitting together. And there's most times, at least the working assumption should be that you can't fit the piece to the puzzle. It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. If you don't have a player that is gonna, he's not gonna fit into that puzzle. He's just some random piece that you found on the floor after knocking it down off the table, and he doesn't fit in there, man. It's not gonna work. And then it just messes up everyone else's mojo. I feel like that would mess everyone else up too.
Yep, and you remember last year, and like I've said before, the Flames at the end of last season in the playoffs, that was the slickest hockey I've ever seen played. It was beautiful. And I watch them now. They still have the speed. They still have the skill. I still like watching them play. But you can tell that the gears are grinding a little bit. And I think Kadri is a big part of that. Anyways, the last thing I was going to cover is, did you see Evander Kane on the Oilers slice his wrist open?
I didn't catch that. I did not catch that.
Yeah. He got knocked to the ice and some guy stepped on his wrist accidentally. And he started bleeding all over the place and went straight to the bench. And they said he'll be out 3 to 4 months. I haven't seen pictures or read any of the medical talk of what happened, but yeah, it was a bad deal. And immediately, the next couple days, the whole talk in the hockey community, from the commentators and the journalists, I don't even know what to call them, the guys who sit on the CBC and TNT hockey desk intermission shows, all that crap. Everybody's now pushing for mandatory sleeves or wrist guards, some sort of protection to prevent this type of injury occurring again. And the way they talk about it is forcing players to do this. And you have to understand it. On the one side, GMs, the whole GM group of the NHL, they want this too. Apparently the NHL said they can't require it this season, right? They have to have a vote or some deal like that, but they all want it. You know why they want it? Because these guys on these teams are assets. That's what they are. They're assets to the team. And now one of your top assets is out for 3 to 4 months. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's mind-boggling to me that in a game, in a league where people's necks are exposed, we're going to require a mandatory wrist protection and not neck protection. It's literally going to take somebody getting a skate to the neck before we move to, you also have to wear, a neck guard. And by the way, these guys are wearing half shields. How about we just require them to wear cages too, so they don't get a puck to the face or a stick to the eye? And by the way, this stuff's already been played out. Guys have gotten cut in the neck. Richard, I think, yeah, all I know is his last name was Zednik. Played for the Canadians, got cut in the neck, then he started wearing a net guard. There was this whole documentary on this guy, no-name guy, who played for the Rangers, and Marian Hossa went to take a slap shot, and on his backswing, the tip of his stick caught this guy underneath his visor and screwed up his eye. And he had permanent vision loss. And he tried to make a comeback to the league, and it never worked out. But the point is, I don't want guys to have to wear wrist guards. I don't want them to have to wear net guards. I don't want them to have to wear cages. I don't want any of this stuff. But it's like, it's not principled to say, oh, you have to wear a wrist guard. But we'll wait for somebody to die before we require net guards. In the whole ethos of the sport, and this is what it boils down to, there's this and we've talked about it before, there's this constant flow of the feminization of the game. Hockey is a brutal sport. It's a man's sport. It's a martial sport. Like, when you step on the ice, you're going, yeah, I could get a skate to the neck. I could get a puck to the face. And I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah, those are some of the risks that you take when you put on the gear. You have to assume those risks. Like,
yeah, and if your mom bundles you all up and protects you from head to toe, it's no longer a man's game. Why don't hey, boo boo, you know, you want some hand warmers in your gloves too? Ooh, are your toesies cold? Should we get you some wool socks? Hey, little buddy, you know? Like, no, these are men that literally fight on the ice. 200-pound guys floating across the ice at 20 plus miles an hour, trying to push each other through the glass. Oh, but now you need to wear a wrist guard because one guy, 1 year, got his wrist sliced open.
Yeah, I think when these sort of things happen, teams, the organization has to look at that, and they have to put out some type of response. And if it were me, and now I have a different way of thinking, obviously. You just got to put something out there to make people pleased. And maybe that's what they're doing here. We're thinking about putting wrist guards on. Probably won't happen. I don't know.
Yeah, so I agree with you. The point that made me want to bring this up was they were talking about it like the GM group, the management group, as a league they were trying to push for this to be mandatory. And that's what completely set me off.
Yeah, I get that. I think a lot of people too, watching hockey, people that keep up with their teams and what have you, I think that doesn't make any sense to them as well. I think they're equally as upset as you are. Like you said, net guards too. Why would you add net guards? Or you might as well add net guards if you're going to add wrist guards.
Yeah, the whole idea is like, are we looking at this as I need to protect my asset from being out of the lineup for 3 months because we're running a business and that business is winning games? Or is it we would really prefer nobody to lose their life playing this game? Because we don't want anybody to die on the ice playing a sport that they can only do for about 20 years, then the first order of business is to get some protection around their necks. Yeah, you could definitely die getting a skate to the inside of the leg or to the wrist, but if you get a skate to the neck, your probability of dying is it's exponential. It's way higher than dying from a wrist injury. I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but it just seems logical. So, but that's the whole thing. None of this seems logical.
Yeah. And
this kind of falls under the umbrella of like how there's the way hockey is moving broadly is there's no more respect for the sanctity of the game. And I see that, I call it the feminization. It's also the Disneyfication of the game. Like here, there's an ECHL team, which is the farm team for the AHL, and the AHL is the farm team for the NHL.
Yeah.
And I talked about this last year. They had Marvel movie night. What? These guys are skating around in warm-ups with, Shrek, or not Shrek, Hulk jerseys on. And I just saw their Instagram post, I think tonight or tomorrow night, they're doing, get this, they're doing SpongeBob night.
What?
Yeah. Here, and this is how much this irks me. If you are in any sense involved in a hockey organization, running a team in any fashion, and your voice, your little squeaky voice perks up and goes, yeah, what about SpongeBob night? The kids will probably like that. Immediately removed from the organization and a lifetime ban from ever stepping foot in a hockey arena again, period.
That kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen Space Force on Netflix. A little plug there.
I have not.
Okay, well, there's a rep in Space Force in the movie that puts out all the stuff on social media for whatever they're doing in the show. You know what I'm talking about? He's a social media rep, and he comes up with this crazy ass bullshit to try and get publicity. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, you wanna phone a friend or poll the audience? You still have both your lifelines left.
And he does this stupid shit to try and get attention for the Space Force. You know, that kind of reminds me of who they got people doing like that for this organization for. Like you said, SpongeBob night. That seems like some kid. They brought some 13-year-old kid. That's all they could find that was useful with Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. They're like, oh, all the millennials are trying to get jobs at Twitter or Facebook. We need someone to come in and figure out what we need to do to sell tickets. And all they found was this 13-year-old kid, I guess. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, I think you mean 6-year-old kid, dude. It's so dorky. Seriously. And hockey is not a dorky sport. No. Like, what's next? Pokemon night? Hey, yeah, bring your Charizard freaking oop-de-la cards, and we'll open up one of those stupid-ass red and white ball orb things, the balls, and we'll see what kind of Pokemon is in it at intermission. Go to hell, dude.
That's funny you said you described it as dorky, because that kind of sounds like something they do at a basketball game.
Yeah, I don't even know like where this would even make sense. You know, like it would make sense if you were at a pep rally at your middle school and they were going to have a ball hockey tournament and the teachers made a team, right? It was going to be the teachers versus the 8th graders, and the teachers were like, "Okay, our team is going to be SpongeBob SquarePants team, and our goalie is, our goalie's Patrick Star, and on forward is Squidward, and on left D is Sandy, the fat ass who teaches 3rd grade science." Yeah, what? We're talking about like 2 levels below the NHL. Imagine you're on the team and you're trying to win games and play good so that you can go to the NHL. And in the locker room beforehand, you're listening to Limp Bizkit, you're getting pumped up, and then you got to don your SpongeBob jersey to go out in warm-ups. And when you hit the ice, it's the pirate song talking. I forget even how it goes. Under the seafloor and this and that.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Yeah. Imagine trying to play a hockey game, and that's like your warm up stuff going on. It's such a distraction. It's just when stuff like this happens, I go, you know what? I hope this team fails. I hope nobody shows up and they have to sell the team off in a year or 2. And I don't honestly want that. I love having an ECHL team here. We have a lot of fun going to the games. But if you're not going to respect the game, you don't deserve to have it.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to have a team.
Well, maybe we can send a few emails their way, and we can get some type of like wet T-shirt night going on. I'd definitely go to that.
Thank you. Seriously, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You know what was an awesome environment that everybody had a blast at and got tons of people there and led the team to literal national championship? Why don't you take a guess? Never mind. Hold that. I'll fill in the blank for you, dude. It was a little place I like to call it UMass Amherst.
Oh.
That was a jungle in the crowd. Seriously. It was crazy. And you know what? When my dad came to a game, 60-year-old man, he was loving it. Just in heaven with the vulgar chants and the college kids screaming at the refs and the players, and the whole atmosphere was, yeah, you know what? And like, that's the whole point. That's what hockey is about. That's what I mean by the sanctity of the game.
Yeah.
You want to have SpongeBob SquarePants night? Like you said, go play basketball, okay? Go play highlight. Whatever the hell that is. Go to a badminton tournament. This is hockey. No, not even that. That's a bitchy way to say it. This is hockey, period.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. This just popped in my head, but every time I go to a UMaine game, I always look forward to the students section. And in the student section, there's always a ref, like a voodoo doll ref, but it's full sized. It's human sized voodoo doll, and it's of a ref. And they got that thing swinging from the balcony, like he's hanging from a tree, swinging it. And if that doesn't fire you up or set the tone for the night, then I don't know what will.
You that is spot on. Everybody loves that, Reese. The players love it, even the refs, because the refs, people forget the refs are hockey players. Nobody is like, hey, I guess I know how to skate. I guess I'll just go be a hockey ref. No, those are guys who have played hockey. Those are guys who play hockey. They love that. And like you said, most importantly, the fans love it. You know what they say at this rink? Part of the pregame announcements is if you shout vulgarities or are negative towards the refs, you will be removed from the arena and expelled permanently. And I was like, well, that's pretty lame. Why don't you just say, yeah, it's a no fun zone. And I was trying to teach my family, my nieces and nephews this, because this is what we did at UMass. Is the refs are the first to hit the ice, right? At the beginning of the game. They always come out first. Boo them. Boo. Hey, we hate zebras. We used to call them zebras at UMass. And it's funny because when I do that, all of my family, they laugh. They're laughing. They love it. The people in the surrounding seating area, they think it's funny. They're on board. It amps them up. You know what here's the other thing, dude. I cannot believe this. When they did the announcements for the starting lineup, the last game I went to here, when they were announcing the away team, the crowd, they were clapping. They were like, woo!
Oh my God.
What the hell is going on? It was literally a clinically derealization moment. I was like, wait a sec, where am I? What am I watching? Who are we clapping for? Hey, guy, we're clapping for the other team? No. Boo! Hey, yeah, 23, James Allen. Boo! James Allen sucks. That's what should be going on.
Absolutely, yeah. When they do that at the UMaine games, the whole student section and the regular crowd is booing the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's a good product.
That's the point of the whole of you as a viewer live in the ice rink. Your job to help your team win is to make the away team feel as uncomfortable as possible in that atmosphere.
Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself, and it is very refreshing to hear that somebody else thinks that way too. Because honestly, I think everybody feels that way. I just think somehow the people at the control wheel have been lobotomized, or maybe they're on some of these hormones or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like they're the ones that should be calling the shots here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're closing up. We're closing up on 40 minutes here. We should wrap her up, just like a Christmas present.
Yeah, here you go. Santa's came early. Both of them. All right.
Yeah, thanks for watching or listening, depending on. Well, we don't.
Yeah, we're gonna get video going here, dude. Once we start bulking season, we'll put on video.
Right on. Well, thanks for listening. Make sure to check out Twitter and Instagram. In the Box with Alex and Reese.
Adios.